you're finally here. Alright. How's about we get started, okay? We have an interesting target today. Now, I have some theories already, but for the sake of being thorough, and for future record keeping, what we're going to do, you and I, is we're going to go over everything we've learned about this monster, alright? And we're going to see if we can't identify it based on tracks, based on behaviour, based on the bodies it's left behind, alright? Then, once we've done that, we ought to be able to prepare properly for exactly what we're getting into. Alright? So, for a start, when was the first body? When was the first victim dropped? That's right. 2 weeks ago. That's what we know to start though. Here's what I've noticed though, alright? Is that actually, if you happen to look back through the history of the area, alright, you'll find there was a death under similar circumstances about 5 years ago, alright? And 5 years before that, there was another 3 deaths that, well, we don't exactly have the bodies anymore, the site is cold, but in the town's records, 5 years ago, there was another death just like this. 5 years before that, 3 of them. 5 years before, what do we have? That's right. There were 2. So, this suggests something interesting to me. What do you think that is? What kind of monster targets its prey once every 5 years? And every 5 years specifically? Does that, to you, sound like a monster that's been hunting for food? A monster that needs to feed every 5 years and specifically targets humans for it? Makes no sense to me. So, that means motive. We have a monster with a motive. And that is very important information indeed, isn't it? That suggests a few things, like intelligence, habit, ritual, or malice. Now, we can't say exactly what, not just from this, but clearly this beastie is acting with some type of plan in place, right? That's very useful. So, what do you think it is? Any guesses so far? Something that kills every 5 years for a limited window around the solstice? Well, next up, shall we consider the state of the bodies? Now, the bodies we had the chance to examine, they had no external wounds, did they? No external wounds. Yes, I am taking these notes for your sake. Like I said, fairly certain I already know. But I want you, as my student, to have the chance to learn these things for yourself. Alright? So, no external wounds. Instead, we have bodies that appear desiccated, that is, dehydrated, lacking in blood. A state of affairs that would normally cause one to think of a vampire, but which, I again remind you, could not be the case as there were no external injuries. No telltale pinpricks anywhere on the body. And, more importantly than that, upon further examination, what did we discover? The blood is still there. It's not gone. It's been dehydrated. The blood is dry, but it's still blood and it's still there. So, vampire, crossed off the list, eh? Most animalistic monsters, crossed off the list. We know that it's not hunting for food, and an animal would be hunting for food. So what does that leave us with? A monster that kills without touching, that somehow dries the blood within your body without ever making direct contact, or that is capable of contacting you in a unique way. Bingo. Our prey is ethereal, incorporeal, however you'd like to describe it. Our target is some form of spirit. Yes. Knew you'd get there. Now, this will be your first ghost hunt. Now, for clarity's sake, not every spectral being is a ghost, but I just describe them all as ghost hunts for ease of speech. So we have what is some form of spirit that attacks every 5 years near the solstice, targeting humans specifically, and drying out their blood. What do you think? To me, this reads a certain way, alright? There's plenty of spirits that do all sorts, but they typically, alright, will, they can be categorized, even still, yes? So, for example, a certain type of common spirit that plagues those with guilty hearts will frequently find itself binding itself to a person and stoking the fires of guilt and self-flagellation until destruction. It often causes an aversion to light. Right. The ghost of someone who perished of disease is likely to be, well, a ghost that inflicts disease or causes its victims to feel the symptom of disease. But this is, well, it's a first for me. And so, at a guess, now I can't say for certain, but at a guess, I think this ghost is the restless spirit. I think it is a ghost in this case, and I think it's the restless spirit of someone who did die to a vampire and is now killing others in the manner it was killed. That's my best guess. That makes our job a little bit difficult. Because if that ghost catches us off guard, we'll die very fast. But I think we can figure something out, alright? Some multiple of 5 years ago, this ghost was killed by a vampire on the solstice, likely in some form of ritualistic murder. Potentially resulting from a sacrifice performed by the people of the village all those years ago. So long they've forgotten about it, or perhaps not so long and they're simply trying to hide it. And now the ghost is appearing on the solstice, exacting its vengeance on the people of the village. Perhaps the descendants of those who sacrificed it to the vampire. So, what do we do? Well, for me, I'd say I'd like to put that ghost to rest, wouldn't you? To that end, we have some work to do, alright? First off, we need to be able to touch it, right? So I spent some time prepping these things beforehand, alright? As soon as I had the feeling we were dealing with a ghost, I started prepping. So I have these leaves right here. Went out picking them earlier. This is quite the prize right here. Do you know what this is? Well, if I'm not mistaken, and I may well be, but if I'm not, having examined the site, done my research, done some tracking, this bracelet here belonged to the deceased, to our target. And a personal effect is a very useful, powerful thing. This is why I tell you not to leave things lying around. Any mage could do anything they wanted with it. So, we have the leaves, we have the bracelet, and we have a bit of holy oil. Just going to pour it in there. And lastly, this here. These are the ashes of some spider lilies I happened upon, known also as corpse flowers, very rare around these parts, hard to come by. Burn them, grind up the ashes, alright? You taking notes? You just grind them in a mortar and pestle, just like this. And when all is said and done, add them to the mix. Now just stir it together. Might smell a bit rank, unfortunately, but what can you do? So, this here, all right, we're going to bottle it up, keep it for now. When the time comes, we'll pour this onto our blades, and it should theoretically allow us to make contact with our target. But it's not all, is it? I'm going to sharpen my blade for a moment while I quiz you a bit, all right? Now, how can we ensure that the spirit will arrive when we wish? That's right. You've been doing your reading. That's good. See that bracelet in the oil? Well, I'll be plucking it out. When the time comes, we'll place it in the centre of a circle of chalk. We'll burn it. You'll say the incantation, all right? I'm trusting you with that. Hopefully the spirit will arrive. We put it to rest. Sound good to you? Wonderful then. There's just one last thing to consider. Well, as I mentioned, our prey, our ghost, is itself a victim. Sacrificed ritualistically to a vampire, however many years ago. It's impossible to say. More than 15 to be sure, but beyond that, you just can't know. The people who did the sacrificing could still be alive. The vampire almost certainly is. And I know you fought lesser vampires before, all right? But this... I learned what I did once I started to suspect. I did some digging. I found the place where I think the death most likely occurred. I brought a mage friend of mine. She performed in augury. What we found death, the suffering. This was no lesser vampire. So, I reached out to a friend. I got permission to borrow a very special tool, alright? Because I can't find it in me to let this go. Can you? To know that vampire that did this, that inflicted such suffering, still out there. To know that the people who gave this ghost to the vampire might still be out there. To know that such gruesome violence might still be happening. We've been hired, paid, to hunt a ghost. And we will. But I intend to continue my investigation, and if that happens, we're likely to draw attention. Unwanted attention. Deeply unwanted attention. I reached out to a friend. Good friend of mine. His name's Trevor. And he quite kindly offered me a tool. It's a chain whip, alright? It's meant for killing vampires. The big ones, the strong ones. My little knife would hardly scratch a higher vampire. But this, well, this could make them hurt. So, as a personal request from me, as we investigate, I'd like you to keep this chain whip on your person. Alright? Keep it close and within easy reach. If something happens, and we're attacked by something of that tremendous power, you are to use this to defend yourself as best you can, alright? And to run if necessary. I've been doing this a while. I can take care of myself. And if I can't, then even with this, you wouldn't have a chance. So, if that happens, if that day comes, and we're discovered by something before we manage to discover it, you take this, you fight, you create an opening for yourself, and you leg it, alright? Promise you'll do that. Poor is the hunter who outlives her apprentice. Keep it on hand, and should the worst happen, try and find Trevor and tell him. Good. Wonderful. With that understood, let's go hunt a ghost, shall we? And then on to bigger prey.